Okay, there's the stream. Hopefully, this is the first time I've streamed on YouTube for a while. Looks like it's working. Let's go to YouTube and see if I can check this out. I'm live. Okay, good. Okay, so there should be a live chat over there. That's good. All right, anybody who joins, just let me know. Just let me know right away if you can hear my audio. Okay. I want to just like I said, I haven't streamed on YouTube in like a long time, so I want to make sure that it's all good. And I should be able to show you. I want to be able to share my screen. So hold on a sec. I'll add another source here. Do window capture. Main monitor. I'm going to test my real-time chat website. That's the purpose of this stream, by the way, for those of you who are just joining here. So I want to be able to share my monitor. So that should be the one. Okay. So if I shrink this, oh, that's over top. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this actually should be below that one. There we go. Okay. All right, we're figuring this out. We are figuring this out. Now I'm going to shrink this and make this full screen. Okay. Wait. Bigger. Something like, oh, my monitor is a weird resolution, so it's not liking that, but there we go. That's good enough. Okay. So if I wanted to show you my screen, there we go. Now you're seeing what I see in my dashboard. All right. So yeah, what I want to do here is I want to test my chat website, my Django chat website. So if you guys want to go to openchat.xyz and just like register an account. So go here, go to register up here, and just type your email, type your username, type a password, click register, and I just want to test to make sure that everything's working correctly here. So I'm going to log in with my account, and I'm going to do that off screen in case I accidentally show you my password. Okay, bring this back over. So now what I want you to do once you register, which I'll give you just kind of a few seconds here, I should probably move this out of the way, is I want you to add me as a friend. So this is the real-time chat website that I built with Django. It's built with Django and WebSockets. Yeah, a bunch of different stuff, but generally what I want to do here is I want to get you guys all to log in, all to register, and I want you to add me as a friend. And I want to test the real-time notification system. So when you guys add me, I should get like little notifications up here, and then we'll start some real-time chats, and we should see like real-time chats coming in. There'll also be notifications, and just make sure that everything's working correctly. So once you've created an account, just go up here and type Mitch and search, and you'll be able to search for any users who match the name Mitch. There should be only one unless one of you copies my username. And then just search me, go to my profile, go here, and there'll be like an add friend button. So like if I was to search for Blake, for example, who this is not my account, this is kind of like what you should see. So if I click unfriend, this is what you should see when you search for my account. You'll be able to send me a friend request, and then I'll get a little request up here that said that you. Okay, so here's the first one. The first guy is test user 1234. So I'm going to accept this friend request. So now it should say you accepted the friend request. Another guy sent me a friend request. Great, you guys are doing it. Awesome. I haven't checked the live chat, but you guys are doing great. So I'll accept this one. So notice that it's real time. So notice this counter up here. This gets incremented when I get a new notification. And then when I view the notifications, that counter goes away. So they get marked as red. So notice that goes away, and I should be getting more. So I'll just kind of click out of this. And once you've added me as a friend, you can visit my profile. So just like I'm going to visit test user or whoever just added me, SDZ. So if I search for him there, now I can find him. If I click here, now I can either unfriend him, I can view his friends, which there should only be one, me, or I can send him a message. So what I want you to do is now go to my profile. So like search for Mitch again. Go to Mitch, and then there should be like a little send message button here. And once you send me that should open up a socket, like a private chat to just me, and then send me a message, like just say hi. And I should see a little notification up here that says that you sent me a message. So hopefully it all works. Yep, there it is. And there it says, so I got a notification from test user, and it says test message for Mitch. So now if I click that, I get taken to the private chat room with this test user. So I can say, hey, I can make this a little smaller just so you can see. Thanks for testing my website. And there's, yeah, so there you go. So that creates the real-time chat. And if I'm connected to this socket with you, I shouldn't receive any new chat messages from you. So like if you were to send me another message, so this guy test user 1234, send me another message and inside of this chat, and I should not see a notification for that. So here's another one, chat from other conversation. See, there you go. This guy says it's a pleasure. Excellent. Notice I did not get a notification for that. That's how it's supposed to work. Excuse me, I'm going to burp. YouTube's a bit slower than the website. Okay. So now I can click this other chat over here, and here's another guy. Hey, thanks for helping me out. So these are all real-time chats that are getting sent back and forth. Pretty cool. This is the one that I sent from the other user that I logged in with earlier. All right, looks like I got some new friend requests. Let's accept all of these. So also notice that this notification system, so if I accept a friend request in here, it updates that specific notification. So like if I click accept, it says you accepted Pavel's friend request, but then another notification gets created saying that I'm now friends with Pavel. So it updates the notification where the acceptance happened, but then I also get a new notification saying you are now friends with, the person that you accepted it from. So great. So you guys, now that we're friends, send me a chat just like those other guys did. And then I'm going to show you some of the other features. Because there's a lot of like really cool stuff that you can do with sockets. I'm really kind of blown away with what you can do with sockets. Okay. So typically, those of you who are here, I'll actually make myself bigger because I'm going to talk a little bit. So those of you who are familiar with web development, or you followed any of my courses on like Django or anything like that, you know that typically what you do when you have like something that needs to be, some kind of a request that has to be made on the screen, and you don't want to refresh the screen, you use like an AJAX request. So this is pretty common, like if we were doing like a real-time chat, for example, and you didn't use a socket, what you would have to do is like when you send the message, you would send an AJAX request to submit that to the server. Then you would send another AJAX request to query those chat messages and update the UI. So this is really common. It's kind of like AJAX was the go-to way to like interact with a website if you didn't want to refresh it. Pagination is also another thing. So if you go to, I'm trying to think of one. I think Simple Programmer is probably a good example because I'm pretty sure they use pagination on their home screen. So if you go to their home screen and you start scrolling, oh, they just have this thing. So before, I know like maybe a couple of years ago, I haven't been here for a long time. Before, if you scrolled, what it would do is it would automatically load the next results and it would append them so you wouldn't have to click this thing. That is called like, that's something that you would use AJAX for. So if you like hit the bottom of the screen, you would query more results using AJAX. Therefore, the screen would not refresh, and then you would append those results. So you could use AJAX for that, but pretty much anything that you would do with AJAX before, you can now do with WebSockets, and it's way more efficient. And I'll give you some examples of what I did. So here I have some more friend requests. So I'll refresh this page. Actually, that won't make a difference. Or no, it will, because I've set the pagination size for the notifications to 15. So hopefully I have more than 15 notifications and I can show you the pagination. So if I scroll to the bottom of this, there's a progress bar that will show, but it's probably too fast for you to see. But there's a progress bar shows, and then it queries the next page of results. And you could have used AJAX for that. Like you could have queried the next page of results and appended it. But instead, we can use WebSockets. So that's kind of, I just wanted to give you an example of like, here's what you could have done with AJAX, and then here's how we could do it with WebSockets now, and it's way more efficient. So pagination, obviously real-time chat, which you saw all of these chat messages. hey, Flutter is cool. All of these chat messages are obviously connecting to sockets, all like private sockets. So I'll try to say hi to everybody. Pavel again here. Hi. Really cool, Mitch. Good work. Thanks. Yes, sockets are cool. So yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is anything that you would have done with AJAX, you can now do with sockets, and it's more efficient. So now you're probably wondering, okay, cool, but how is it more efficient? What do you have any do I have any metrics for you? And yes, I do have metrics for you. So I did some testing, some load testing, and I have my notes here on it. So when I tested this, basically what I did was I built this website that you're looking at right now with AJAX, and then I did the testing, and then I rebuilt it using WebSockets, and then I did that same testing, and I compared what the load on my CPU was, and kind of how the server was responding. So like if there was any lag, all that kind of things. So what I did to simulate like a lot of users making requests at the same time is I made it for the real-time chat, or actually it was for the notifications. For the notifications, I made an AJAX call that would repeat itself every 50 milliseconds. So a lot, that's like 20 times a second. And I opened up 10 tabs. So I'm getting 20 per second times 10 tabs. So I was getting 200 requests per second. That's what I was doing. Oh yeah, I have the calculation here. So every 50 milliseconds, it opened 10 tabs. That's 20 requests per second, so 200 requests per second. So when I did that with AJAX, so essentially what I did was the notification system. So like, just like it's doing right here, it's making, right now that's what's happening in the background, but it's only doing it every 4 seconds. I did it every 50 milliseconds. So I was trying to simulate like a heavy load on my CPU. So what happened when I did that was it could handle it. So 200 requests a second, it could handle it. But it started to lag. My CPU usage was at like 40%, I think. And I have an i9, by the way. And it was starting to lag. I was on my development server, but it was starting to lag. So essentially, like I would call that the upper limit of what could be handled. So 200 requests a second. Right now on the server, the notifications are being updated once every 4 seconds. So you could compare, like if you were to compare that equally to what I did, that's kind of like that you would compare 1 second to 4 seconds, so multiply it by 4. So theoretically, you could handle like 800 users connected at once. That's a theoretical load that you could handle with like one CPU with an i9. So then I did the same thing. Well, actually, I should talk about costs first. So what does one CPU get you if you were to like host that website? One CPU on DigitalOcean costs about $5 a month, like plus tax. So it's pretty cheap. Like you're not going to spend a ton of money doing that. So it's very cheap. But as you get more CPUs, it gets more and more expensive, all the way up to like, I think the most expensive system for DigitalOcean that they offer is like, I don't know, $1,400 a month, and you get like 32 CPUs. So there's always room to scale up, but it costs more money, obviously. So anyway, so then I did the same thing with sockets, and same kind of scenario. Interval was 50 milliseconds, so making the request every 50 milliseconds. There was a huge difference here, though. I was able to open 40 tabs before it like started demonstrating a similar like load, like lag and CPU usage. So I was at 40% CPU usage with the other experiment, and this only used with 40 tabs instead of 10 tabs, so 4 times the amount of tabs were open, and my CPU usage was only 25%, and the lag was even a little better. So you could say that using the sockets is at least 4 times faster than using AJAX calls. So that's pretty significant. That's nothing that you would want to ignore. And as I said at the beginning of this video, like sockets can theoretically replace any like asynchronous calls on your website. You could theoretically have WebSockets on every single page of your website to do everything. Like even if you're doing like a simple search, like if I wanted to search for a user, would it matter if I just press like M here and I wanted to do that search? You could submit a payload to the WebSocket would do the query in the background, and it would send the payload back. It's just JSON data going back and forth. So like you could use it for anything. Like you could use it, like I said, for pagination. You know, I'm coming in here, I'm scrolling this, boom, getting the next page of results, boom, getting the next page of results. That's what I'm doing. I'm using a WebSocket for that right here. So yeah, I mean, I think it's great. I think WebSockets are a beautiful thing. I can't think of anything that you would use that would be better than WebSockets at this point. Maybe some of you know, I'm not sure. So it looks like I got a whole bunch of messages here. Everybody is testing just like I asked. So thank you for doing that. I didn't get a notification when you accepted. Should you get a notification when you accept? No, yeah, you should. You should have. I think you should have. Like yeah. If you didn't, that's a bug. You should get a notification when you accept one. Looks like a question I got here is when I'm planning to release this course. So it's like mostly done now. There's some bugs I got to figure out still, but it's mostly done. So now I'm going to move into like the planning stages. So however long that takes. Typically when I plan a course, it takes, I don't know, 2 weeks or so. 2 weeks or so to plan it, and then the filming usually takes 2 weeks or so. Those are like rough numbers, but generally speaking, that's about the time period that you can expect. So it's safe to say but also usually when I'm filming, I release lectures as I film them. Like I don't complete a whole course and then release the whole course. I usually film 5 to 10 lectures, edit them, release them. So, I mean, you could start seeing lectures as early as 2 weeks from now. That would be very optimistic 2 weeks from now, but theoretically possible. And then I would just continue releasing lectures as I finish them. So what else did I want to show? Looks like I got some more friend requests. Thanks everybody for, oops, I accidentally clicked on one of those. Oh yeah, so there's also like a bunch of little features in here. If you click anywhere except for on the buttons of the notification, it takes you to their profile. So notice I clicked there. There's a couple ways to accept a friend request. Like if I visit someone's profile who has sent me a friend request, it says this little accept friend request thing up here, and you can accept or decline. I'm going to accept. If you accept, the page is refreshed, and now I have an option to either unfriend them, to view their friends, to send them a message. That's basically it. Yeah, pagination, which I already talked about for the notifications. You get separate notifications for chat as opposed to other notifications, the friend system. And looks like I got some questions here. I'm going to answer these. I just let me. I don't want to lose my train of thought, so I'll come back and answer your questions here. So I want to show you the other features. So if you go to your profile, some of you I can see already have done that. It looks like you're setting your profile pictures. So if you go to your profile, you can click update, and you have a couple options. You can change your email, change your username, or this little option here that says hide email. If you select hide email, when someone visits your profile, they won't be able to see your email address. So like if I go to Blake's profile, for example, notice that this is all stars. That means that he has the hide email thing selected, so I can't see it. Also, you can obviously change the profile picture, and there's a lot going on with the profile picture because I wanted to have a circle image for basically everywhere. So if you go to the real-time chat, there's little circle images here for everybody. They have a little circle image. There's a circle image up here. In order to do that, you pretty much one way you can do it is when you let users upload your image to the server, you crop it so that it's a square. That way, no matter what, it's not going to look weird. Because if I uploaded something that was not a square here, like if I went to the admin and I set just an image that wasn't a square, this circle could look like an oval, like this way or that way, and it could look funny. So what you do is you crop it to a square. That guarantees that no matter what, when they look at it as a circle, it's going to look good. So let me just select another image. I'll just select something over here. I don't know, choose this one. This was a thumbnail of mine. Now this is a third-party JavaScript library that I'm using here. So notice you can put restrictions on the way that you let them crop it. So notice I can't pull it horizontally. I can't pull it vertically. It only ever expands or contracts as a square. So this is how I'm forcing a limitation on them to crop an image as a square, and then therefore all of the other images on my server will look good as circles. That kind of prevents any kind of weird things happening with images because I'm putting limitations on how they get to crop them. So if I just select this and I click the check mark, this is kind of a long loading process because this is a high resolution image. It takes a while to upload to the server. So what it does is it uploads it to the server. It saves a temporary image on the server. That image then gets cropped, and then the new image is uploaded to storage, DigitalOcean Spaces storage. So it's hosted on DigitalOcean. And then there you go. You have your new cropped image. It gets updated up here, and everybody can see my nice new image. So let's accept some of these new friend requests. And now I got more notifications. Oh yeah, those are just the you became friends one. All right. So let's answer some of your guys' questions in the messages here. So I'm just gonna kind of go through these and cherry pick some. This looks funny. What is this? Some kind of weird face. LOL. How do you make that? Like, what character is that? I wish I knew. It's probably like alt something. Yeah, a bunch of weird characters. Anyway, all right. So how far does the Android app come? So I have not worked on the Android app at all yet. What I'm planning on doing is I'm going to build this, obviously, make a course for this, release that course, so get it out, get it published, and then I'm going to start working on the Android app. So the Android app is quite far away, and I don't even really have like specs for it yet. I'm not really sure what it's going to look like yet, but essentially it's going to do everything the website can do. So, imagine I'm going to integrate a REST API for this website still, so that when they log in, they can use token authentication. You'll be able to register from the app. So register on the website from the app. You'll be able to log in, obviously. You'll be able to do everything that the website can do. So like there'll be a search view up top. You can search for users. You can add friends, look at your friends, start real-time chats. Everything that the server can do, the app will be able to do. That's my plan. But nothing's done yet. Looks like this guy found a bug. I'm from India, so the geographical region a factor WebSockets shouldn't be. Also, you got notifications for incoming requests. I didn't get a notification for incoming. The red dot didn't appear. I was on the profile page when you accepted. That might be a bug. Like if you send me a friend request and I accept it, you don't get a new notification. So if you send me a friend request and I accept it, you do get a new one. The first one will get updated to say that I accepted your friend request, and then you'll get another one that says you and Mitch are now friends. So like if you look at any of these, like I'll just accept, like if I accept this one, for example, one sent you a friend request. If I accept, it says you accepted, why would it say one? And now it says Haiti. Unless he changed his username in the meantime. That might have been it. But anyway, when you accept, it says you accepted the request, and then you get a new one that says you are now friends. Just like with this guy, if I accept his, it says I accepted, and then I should get a new one. There's the new one. It says you are now friends. So you accepted, and then you are now friends. Maybe. So now next one. Cool, looking forward to it. Let's see what this says. Cool, looking forward to it, and I got notification. Nice. Next one is minimum RAM for this. I don't think you need very much. Like if you look at, I could just log into my DigitalOcean. Let me do it off screen in case I show you my password. Hopefully I don't have to do an email authentication. So if I go to my DigitalOcean, okay, yeah. So here's some of the droplets that they have available. So if you choose, like, they have all these different plans, but like the basic plan is always what I use. Like I think codingwithmitch.com, which gets anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 users a day. I think I pay $15 a month for that. So that's 2 CPUs, 16 gigs of SSD storage, 3 terabyte transfer. So this open chat website that it's on right now is just a $5 a month, 1 CPU, 25 gigs. These things do not, here, our basic droplet plans, formerly called standard droplet plans, range from 1 gig of RAM to 16 gigs of RAM. So I'm not sure what these ones are, but like at most they're 16 gigs of RAM. but they're probably like this $5 one is probably like 1 gig of RAM. Yeah, see 1 gig. That's how much RAM it is. 1 gig, one CPU. So very, very small. You don't need a lot of RAM to do these. And even like codingwithmitch.com, like I said, I think is $15 a month. That's only 2 gigs of RAM and 2 CPUs. So it doesn't take a lot. And if you go up to like some of the more expensive ones, like it goes up to $1,400 a month with 32 CPUs, 256 gigs of RAM. This is insane. Like if you're this would be like you're getting millions of users a day. Like you need this, that would be this option here. You have like tens of thousands of users connected and interacting with your WebSockets like all at once, all the time. That would be like this kind of example. I don't know if like Facebook or anything ever publishes that information publicly. They might, not sure. Can we replace REST APIs with sockets? I guess theoretically, because because on the Android app, you can connect to the socket. So if you design your website in a way that, connecting to the socket and sending payloads back and forth through the socket gives you everything that you need, then sure. I'm thinking maybe, yeah, I mean, even I was just about to say maybe not authentication, but now that I'm thinking of that again, I don't see why not. I theoretically probably everything could be replaced by sockets, but when I do the Android app for this, I will probably use a REST API for the authentication, and then everything else will be WebSockets. Other than a few things, like when I built this originally, like if I go to, I don't know, just go to like, so Ron sent me a friend request. I'll just accept these really quick. Accept. So this guy, I'm not going to accept this one because I want to show you an example. So if I go to his profile by clicking on the notification, this is done with AJAX. So currently I did not refactor this to use WebSockets, although I could, but like this is done using AJAX. This is just like, if I click this, it sends a request and it says that I accepted it. That's what happens, and it refreshes the page. So not everything on here is done with WebSockets, just because I've already spent like, I think 3 weeks building this, and I don't want to spend any more time like refactoring and building. I want to start working on the course. So right now, the only WebSockets that are being used are the stuff with the real-time chat. So like when you click here, you will open up a real-time chat. This opens up a private WebSocket between me and whoever I opened it with. And also there's WebSockets for these notifications. So there's kind of like a global WebSocket that connects as soon as you log in, and it's inside of the top level HTML file for the website. And then it just constantly, every 4 seconds, it's like, are there any new notifications? Are there any new notifications? Like if you look here, 43 seconds ago, it should say 47 because it's every 4 seconds. Next, it's going to say 51 because 4 seconds. Every 4 seconds, it gets any new notifications. And the same thing with the chat messages. I think I was talking about something, but I totally forgot. The Android app, sockets. Yeah, so theoretically, you should be able to do anything with sockets. Theoretically, you should be able to replace a REST API, because like all a REST API does is it basically creates an interface for the app and the website for just, it's like a facilitating data transfer between a server and an app. So a socket, that's what you do on the Android app when you connect the socket. You have a tunnel that you can send data back and forth. So theoretically, it should be fine. So admin here says he didn't get a notification. Oh yeah, this is the guy who asked the minimum RAM. Why not using AWS? Actually, DigitalOcean Spaces uses AWS in the background. It's just that because I host my website with DigitalOcean, they have a storage solution that kind of comes pre-packaged, but it uses AWS. So I'm still using AWS. So yeah. Next question. Images are loading slow for me. Yeah, so this is a caching thing. I probably should set up a content delivery network for this, so that like if I refresh this, you'll probably see the images kind of load slowly. Yeah, see there, they're all loading slowly. I think this is just a caching thing. I need to set up a CDN for the website, and then the images will get cached and loaded more quickly. No question here. All right, no problem. That means no work for me. Please publish tutorial for web chat. Well, that's the idea. That's what this course is going to be. It's going to be a course on real-time chat. Greetings from Mexico. Kralos. I think you probably meant to write Carlos instead of Kralos. So maybe go to your profile and change your name. Haiti from Egypt. Hello. What's next? I think I already answered this. Maybe. What's next? I don't know. I don't know what you mean. Why not AWS? So the text area needs to have, what is this? Oh, look at that. He found a bug. So it looks like I did not, I don't know, there's some poor programming here. I didn't set a limitation on the size of this. So look at what he did. Please don't go into the chat, everybody, and do this now that he's discovered this bug. And yeah, the Alt Enter thing, I need to add that too. So like if I press Alt Enter here right now, it just submits it, but really it should go to the next line. That's just a little bit of JavaScript that you need to write. Like if you go into chat, into the chat room, down into right here. So like here, when you're getting the chat message input, you need I need to write an if statement here that says if shift is held down and I press return, go to the next line or append a next line instead of clicking and submitting the message. And then I need to do some kind of a limitation on there. What's next? The next in development. So next in development is like just bugs. So like just going through bugs and fixing bugs like the one that just got pointed out, and then start planning and building the courses. What are some drawbacks of WebSockets? I honestly don't. I think they are superior in every way as opposed to the alternative, which is AJAX. I'm not sure what any other alternative is, but to me, from the research that I've done and just from my me using it, doing the load testing, they seem like just better in every way. Oh, I guess one downside is AJAX doesn't require very much code. I don't like how these are flashing every time. Probably see, so that's another bug. Like these images should not be reloaded every time. It doesn't do it on the notifications, but it does it on the chats for some reason. So I need to fix that. Yeah, so AJAX is like, it's kind of like the quick and dirty way. Like it's just easy. It's easy to do. You just like I don't know, I could show you an example, although a lot of you probably already know what AJAX is. So if I go to account and go down to the bottom, accept friend requests. I forgot where I put this. So accept friend request. So like here's an AJAX request right here. So all I would need to do to like accept a friend request is build out a URL for that. So like in here I have a view, or it's in friend views, accept friend request or send friend request, whatever. You build this view, which is the request, and then inside of your AJAX call, you send a request to that URL. That's all you need to do. Whereas with a WebSocket, you have to build, there's a lot more you got to do. Like you got to build a consumer and handle all of the different scenarios. This one's actually a lot smaller than the notification one. So if you go into the notification consumer, there's a lot more things that can happen with the notifications, like get general notifications, refresh general notifications, get chat notifications, get unread general notifications, count, refresh chat. There's a lot more cases. So as you, I guess like up front, there's more work with the WebSocket because you got to build it all out, build out the consumer and everything. But then like as you scale, as there's more things going on that view, it pays off the dividends. Because if you had an AJAX call, or if you were using AJAX calls, every single one you got to build the request, you got to build the URL, and then you got to go and you got to build the AJAX in the JavaScript itself. And then for every single one, you have to do that. Whereas if you do the little bit of work up front with the chat consumer, you build one consumer, and then all you have to do is add new use cases as you do it. So it'd be like add this one more use case, and then you have to build a function for executing that use case. Like this is one of them, for example. And it's also more, I think using a consumer and using the WebSockets is just much more organized. You know, it reminds me a lot of MVI with Android. Like MVI architecture, you set up all of the different things that could happen in your view. So you build like a state, I call them state event classes. These are the different events that can get fired off. And then, so you fire that off, that gets sent down your architecture to like whatever data source it's coming from, whether it's a caching data source or a remote data source. It executes that request and sends it back to the UI. It's very similar using these sockets, because basically you send a JSON payload through the socket. The socket says, "Oh, hey, like I just showed you here. If you go up to the top here, it sends a JSON payload to the socket. Oh, look, it says refresh general notifications. Okay, let me just execute the stuff that I need to execute, and then it sends it back to the UI. So it's the same kind of thing. It's like you have an event that gets fired off, it gets sent down the architecture, and then the architecture sends back the result to the UI, and then the UI is updated. It's very, very similar to MVI, and I think MVI it's my personal favorite architecture with Android. So I like sockets. I like them a lot. Whoa! What did this guy do? Okay, you just a test message. So you can, so boom, here's another bug. This is why I brought you guys here. I brought you here to find these bugs. So it looks like he I don't know, went into like Word or something and like copied some large text and then put the large text into the chat. I'm guessing that's what he did. So boom, I should actually write these things down because I'm going to forget. Although I could just look into the chat and then I have a reminder, so never mind. I can just scroll through here and look at all the you have to put a slash hello. Oh, that didn't do anything. Okay. Getting server error. Let's take a look. How far is Android for a pass? Yeah. So the forgot password is not where I didn't set that up yet. That's just like a placeholder for now. So I need to set that up. So that's a bug that I'm aware of because I haven't done that yet. Why not FCM sockets? And why not FCM sockets? I don't even know. How you listen to sockets in the Android app. It'll use how you listen sockets when Android app is killed. I won't listen to the sockets when the Android app is killed. So you're saying for like notifications, how am I going to do the notifications? Probably what I'll do is I'll probably end up using FCM just because it's going to be shorter. But from the server, when a notification is created, I'll probably also send I'll send a payload to FCM, and that's how I'll do it. So like just like with a cloud function, you send a FCM payload from the cloud function. I'll do the same thing, but I'll do it from the server. So that's how I'm going to handle that. Can you make it so that you can share websites? The random 7th grader. I was so confused when it said you accepted my friend request. When I'm bored, I code after school. I found your Google Maps tutorial and it really helps. I just need help with autocomplete. I wonder, are you actually a 7th grader? Because that'd be pretty cool if you were a 7th grader and you've done some serious coding. Will there be more aspects added to this website? Will you add more colors with CSS? Probably not. I've pretty much added all the features that I want to this. Like I don't want to spend any more time on it. Basically, I've already spent, like I said, like 3 weeks, and I need to start making a course because it's getting a little long. There's already like a lot of code. Like you saw when I opened up Sublime Text, like there is a lot of code here. There's a lot of stuff, and making a course that's ginormous is not generally a good idea. So I've got enough on here that I'm happy with. I'm satisfied with, like, I know that I'm going to be able to give you some good examples of sockets. So moving on. Oh, you put in HTML. I see. So I do like H1. This is an H1. I see. Okay. So I need to make it so that you can't do that. That's another bug. Try AMP. When I registered, CRS failed. You should try clearing your cache if you get the CSRF thing. It's a Django thing, so you can try AMP. I don't know what AMP is. Maybe I will. When I'm in your profile, I click send message, it opens new browser window for chat. Yes, that's by design. I did that on purpose. Your code file is not showing. My code file. I don't know what that means. Hey Mitch, you've written any custom middleware since Django Channels has built in auth middleware, which is only for session-based auth? Because if you're going to use this in Android app, I don't think you're going to use session-based auth, right? I'm not sure yet. You know, that stuff is I'm going to have to explore that when I get to the app. I'm basically just trying to focus on getting the website done, getting the website out. If I have to come back and make some like minor changes to the website when I build the app, I will, because it'll be minor stuff. So yeah, I'm not sure about that yet. Oh, we got the 7th grader back here again. Mitch, what he means is when you want to show us code, we can't see it. So you can't see this? Oh, you can't see Sublime Text. Oh, so it's only capturing my browser window. Oh, I see. Oh, that must have been confusing for you guys. Okay, let me try that again. Yeah, window capture, that's weird. Let me just add another one. Oh, I see. You gotta, Okay, I'm new to this, so forgive me. Let me just see. I want to capture my desktop. Display capture. That's what I want. Probably do desktop. Okay. Say that. So now if I bring up, there we go. Now you can see it. Oh, that sucks because I talked about all that AJAX stuff and you have no idea probably what I was talking about. So if I move that there, delete that. There we go. Okay. Well, yeah, that must have been dumb because I was like looking at this code, talking about. Well, you were there, I'm sure, watching. Oh, now I feel dumb. Oh well. Should I re-explain it? Do you guys want to hear me re-explain? Yeah, big oof. Do you guys want to hear me re-explain that? Everybody type in the chat messages right now and tell me if you want to hear me explain the consumer and the chat socket thing again, or if you don't care and you just want me to keep answering your questions. Coding and flow rocks. Wrong. Obviously, the best is Coding with Mitch. That is the best place to learn Android on the internet. Everybody knows that. Okay, so you want me to explain it? Sure. Okay, so when I was talking about WebSockets and how they are very similar to MVI architecture on Android, because MVI architecture on Android is basically you define a bunch of state events. Those events can get fired off in any particular view. So if you click a button, you fire off a state event that gets sent down the architecture to do something, to either get like some caching data, some network data, whatever, send it back to the UI where it gets used. Sockets are very much like that. You build this thing, you build a consumer. So I call this one the notification consumer. And essentially what it is it builds a socket and you can send JSON payloads from the view. So in this case, I set it up so it's any view in this website. And it sends JSON payloads back and forth. So the JSON payload that I'm sending to it every 4 seconds is telling it, hey, go get me more notifications. It gets me notifications and then sends them back to the UI. And you can see here in the consumer, in the receive JSON function, and I'm going to teach you all about this when we make the course, you can see all these different cases. So you can think of this as this is one of the events, get general notifications. Another event is refresh general notifications, get chat notifications. When these are all events that I fire from the UI saying when I want something, basically. So if I say get chat notifications, it gets the payload and then it sends that payload back to the UI. And all of them are like that. It's whatever the payload says, it does, and then it sends the result back to the UI. So it's very similar to MVI architecture, like I said. So I really like WebSockets. And it's also very efficient. Like I said, it's at least 4 times more efficient than AJAX, which is what I saw in my testing. Looks like we got a button. That is a button. You can't click them at least. That's good. Oh, yeah, you can. Hello, wow, you can actually just embed JavaScript. That's so bad. I need to fix that. That's so insecure. He can have me click a button, execute some JavaScript. That's hilarious. Oh my god. I wonder what you could do to my website. Like you could probably put like an AJAX request in and like get some data and interact with my database. That's so bad. Oh my god. That's hilarious. Oh, look, he sent hypertext, which like screwed everything up. So he probably sent like some div or something and didn't close it off properly. Like like if you did, I don't know. No, I don't want to screw it up. Let's go to somebody who's, oh, that's terrible. Like if I do, I don't know, a, or even just like a div that's wrong. So like if I open this div and I don't close it, I didn't close this. It probably would screw up things. No, it looks fine. What about, I don't know. No, I don't want to give you guys any ideas. I'm going to stop doing that. Hey Mitch, you have written any custom, oh, that was the middleware. Are you using session or token based? I'll probably use token based the for the auth when I do the app. Right now I'm using session based for the website. Instead, you can use one signal, lots of customizations. You can use the API to send notification. Oh, yeah. I think you might have been the guy who sent me a message on Instagram a while ago. So somebody sent me a message on Instagram a while ago about one signal. I looked at it and thought it was like, I don't know. It looked like it was for people who don't know how to create notifications, because creating notifications is actually like super simple. You just send a payload to FCM and you're done. So I don't know, like maybe I just misunderstood it, but one signal seemed like something that was making it way more complicated than it needed to be. But I don't know. Maybe I just didn't look enough into it. Okay, you work amazing. Can't wait to learn what you discovered. I would definitely love to see how you would handle security. Yeah, well, there's obviously a lot of flaws, as you can see from all of this stuff right now. All these people. Okay, so it looks like I mostly answered your questions. So I guess I'll probably end this stream. Um, yeah, I'll probably just end it here. I'm gonna make another video talking about, actually I don't know. I was originally gonna make another video talking about like the benefits of using WebSockets as opposed to AJAX, but I kind of already talked about that stuff. So I don't know. I need to fix these bugs, that's for sure. Any other friend requests? I also didn't look at the live chat at all, so I probably should. Oh yeah, there's lots of questions here. Can I make this big somehow? Pop out chat. Go back to here. Pop out chat. There we go. Okay, now we can all see the chat. Yeah, all right. Going up to the top. Server's too slow. It's not that bad. I think you need to clear your cache. If you're getting a CSRF issue, then you got to clear your cache. I think I probably answered. Yeah, these were all asked me in questions. WebSockets, aka middleware. Ha. RX Java. Yeah, that's an old one, but a good one. Dab. Got a dab. Selenium for testing. I probably won't do any testing for the web stuff. I don't want to learn about it because I don't care. So I probably should, but I just don't want. I did like January, February, March, April, May, and I think some of June, all on like Android testing. I'm quite sick of testing. I don't want to even look at a test right now. When do we expect to watch the course? Like I said, I'm going to start planning it. Typically, the lecture planning process and like making the GitHub branches, all that stuff takes about 2 weeks, like on average. It could take 3 weeks, but on average, it takes like, 2 weeks. Then I start filming and I release lectures as I film them. So you could start to see lectures as early as 2 weeks, probably as late as a month. So at the absolute longest, you'll start seeing lectures in a month. The absolute earliest, you'll start seeing lectures in 2 weeks. React. What about React? I don't know React. I don't know. I always like I use Django, and like I just think that Django is awesome. Like Django, there's never anything that I feel like I can't do with Django. The only reason I would look for like another thing to do web development with is if there was some limitation, and I've never run into a limitation. So I just don't, like there's no practical reason that I would go and look for an alternative. So yeah, you are awesome, bro. Thanks, pal. Anything Flask based? No, like I said, generally, Django is my go-to. What is the advantages of async views? So I'm assuming you mean on a website. You can interact with it. Like, so if you had this is what I'm imagining, like a website that is built 100% with sockets. So like every single view in the website is built with a socket or has a socket connected to it, and then payloads just go back and forth, and the view can update accordingly. So like no matter what you click, like if I clicked learn more, for example, that would fire I have a phone call and I actually need to answer this. All right, I'm going to go. Goodbye, everyone. I'm stopping